Guys, as always, it is so good to be back. It's Three Bold Takes. Freddie, Chase, and Quinn. As always, we're sponsored by SeatGeek. If you want $20 off your first ticket purchase, make sure to use our discount code Three Bold Takes. That is the discount code Three Bold Takes. We're talking conference championships all weekend long. We're super excited. If you're interested in one of those, make sure to use SeatGeek, our partner, for $20 off your first ticket.
And guys, we're going to wrap things up with the ACC championship game at 7 o'clock on ABC. We got SMU, the Mustangs, first year in the ACC, taking on the Clemson Tigers, a familiar force in the ACC championship game. SMU favored by 2. Freddie, is that right, or was it 2.5?
It's 2.5.
2.5. SMU favored by 2.5 over the Clemson Tigers. Guys, the implications for the college football playoff. This is the biggest college football playoff implication match there is. I mean, yeah, you got the Mountain West championship game, winners getting in, losers not. Same thing with the Big 12. The SEC and the Big Ten title games, those are going to determine seeding. But this game, this championship game, will determine, I think, whether the SEC gets 4 in or the ACC gets 2 in. And it's all based on who the winner of the game is. All right, I want to hear it from you, Chase. Who you got? SMU, Clemson.
Man, I've really liked this SMU team all year long. They've really played a bunch of good games, gritty wins. They've had the 28-27 win over overtime win against Duke at Duke. That's a tough one. Then you come back after a really big emotional week there playing Duke. You come home to play number 18 Pittsburgh and you win that one handedly. So I think SMU's kind of done a little bit of everything this season. They've won the big ones where they've needed to. They've closed out the close wins. The only kind of caveat to their schedule is losing to BYU early on, but we didn't know BYU was going to be who they were later in the season. At one point, a lock for the college football playoffs, and now they've slowly dropped out. But Clemson, they got absolutely embarrassed in week one, and then they just went nearly perfect all season before a slip up against Louisville, and then a last second touchdown to South Carolina and Lenora Sellers. So I really like this game. But it's going to be funny, SMU playing in this already, because Florida State and Clemson were two teams in the ACC that said, hey, we want to get out because SMU is going to dilute like our conference. They're going to be worse now, or they're going to make us look bad. And in fact, it is both Florida State and Clemson that has not helped the look of the ACC overall. Clemson, I think, Quinn, maybe you know a little bit better than I do. When was the last time they played in the ACC championship? This is the first time in a couple of years. Am I correct? Or am I a
No,
little off about
they
that?
were in it last year, were they not?
Were they? Okay. I'm so sorry,
No, it was
Jason.
Louisville and Florida State.
Yeah, it was Louisville, Florida State. Then it was the year before that because they went to the Orange Bowl and played Tennessee, so they won the ACC 2 years ago.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it was the last time they won. It was 2022. So, um, but playing in this one, I think it's gonna be. I like what Clemson's done, but I just don't think it's been enough. Mostly this season, I think every year since their last national championship winning year with Dabo, they've just slowly just kind of not gotten extremely work, but like they've just slowly just fallen a step behind, fallen a step behind, fallen a step behind. I've loved what SMU's done this season. Lashley is an offensive genius. He did it the whole time. SMU was a group of five. They come here and it's translated extremely well. I think they're going to continue to do great things. I'm going to go SMU in this game. The spread's 2.5. I think SMU wins by a touchdown in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about SMU besides the fact that even them being ranked 8th right now, they're being disrespected in a sense of the conversation exists of if they lose the conference championship, do they still get in the playoff? There's not really that talk about any other team that's currently in the playoff field if they lose. So the disrespect for SMU is real. Even them being ranked 8th, I think, is a little disrespectful to me. I think they win this game. I really do. I think Clemson. It was it was a fun game against South Carolina. Don't get me wrong. It was a fun game to watch, an amazing game as a fan, a viewer, a lover of college football, but they're just not impressive. They're just not. They beat the teams that they're supposed to beat, but my goodness, man, that curb stomping in week one, You get beat bad against Louisville at home, which, oh, by the way, they still rush the field even after a loss. Like, it's the dumbest thing in the world how Clemson does that. It's embarrassing that you storm the field no matter win or lose. That's neither here nor there, though. I think they're hurt after that loss last week. I really, really do. I think SMU's coming in hot, obviously. Haven't lost since week 3 of the football season. That's a long time ago. That's a really, really long time. And since then, they've just been winning and winning and winning. The real only scare they've had is against Duke on the road, 1-point win in overtime, which is also deemed one of Miami's best wins. So that goes to show you that Duke is at least a little respected. I think they still won, 9 games this year, I believe it is. So pretty respectable there to do that on the road. Give me SMU to win, and I think they win by 12 plus points.
Man, I've been loving watching the SMU story this year. I was kind of I picked Miami to win the ACC, and I believe I had them playing against Clemson in the ACC title game at the beginning of the year. But I had my eye on SMU. I knew there was a lot of talk about SMU having like a good year. When I say good year, I thought SMU would be like an 8-4, maybe a 9-3 team, and kind of shock some people. I did not see what they've become coming at all. I don't want to try to say that, but to see the season they've had has been astonishing. I think they could be a serious player in the ACC long term. You're talking about a Texas school with deep pockets. Yeah, they've had to buy their way in essentially to the ACC, but they can afford to do it. And you're going to start seeing that, I think, give them some advantageous positioning in the conference in the future. As far as this game goes, I can't shake this feeling that there are some things that are inevitable in this world: death, taxes, and Dabo Swinney Clemson teams winning ACC title games when they have no business doing so. And I have a gut feeling that's coming this Saturday. So give me Clemson to squeak out a close upset victory over SMU by 4 and kind of just crush all the spirits. And then it's time to see how the committee holds with the we won't drop a team out if they play in a conference championship game statement. Because at the end of the day, you're dealing with an SMU with no ranked wins, played 2 ranked teams, lost both games.
Yep.
So it'll be an interesting conversation. I personally would leave SMU in the playoffs, but I would have left Florida State in the playoffs last year. So who knows what the committee's going to do.
True. And I'll add one more thing. I did this with the Big 12. Just ACC, another weird conference. Syracuse at the top. SMU leading the way, of course. Like it's weird to see that Georgia Tech's in the top 6 for ACC. So another cool conference that had a lot of different moving pieces this year and a lot of just up and downs from big teams. NC State, North Carolina, near the bottom, and then Miami, Clemson in the middle of the 4. So it's kind of cool. Just wanted to shout that one out again. ACC, Syracuse, SMU, and all them.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's something we could get used to seeing in the Big 12 and the ACC in this transfer portal NIL world. I think these schools are so susceptible for just massive flip-flops from year to year, creating crazy standing finals. But we'll see going forward if that trend holds. Guys, it's been 3 Bold Takes. I've been joined by Freddie and Chase. We're going to wrap up today's prediction videos, getting done with all of our predictions for this entire weekend of conference championship games. Make sure you check those out on the channel. And don't forget, we're sponsored by SeatGeek. Use our code 3BoldTakes for $20 off your first purchase using the app SeatGeek. That is SeatGeek, our sponsor. All right.